Edition of the Overtime, we review both Flagstaff boys and girls basketball seasons. NAU hosted the Big Sky Champions and the men came out on top, and the NAU swim and dive team brought home the WAC championship title. And we'll give you an update on the NAU golf team and how they're carrying out their season. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Haley Schickner. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Jason Friedman. Jason, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks, Haley. I'm really excited to be here, and we got a packed show tonight, so let's get right into it.
Well, let's just jump right into it. High school basketball season came to a close last week. That being said, both the boys and the girls from Flagstaff made it to the quarterfinals of the state tournament before losing. Should these teams be happy with their season? What do you think, Jason?
Well, for the boys, you have to keep in mind this is still a very young team. They're only losing one senior this year, and they're bringing back most of their key players, but it's hard to look at this season as anything but a success. On top of making it to the state tournament and beating Saguaro in the first round, they also beat crosstown rival Coco 3 times, including the sectional championship game. A player I want to keep my eye on for next season is Brandon Tiffany. The point guard is extremely athletic and always knows where his teammates are on the court. The scariest thing about Tiffany, though, is that he's just a sophomore and he has 2 more seasons to improve his game and get bigger and stronger. I'm betting that he will be among the top players in the state by the time his senior season rolls around. As for the girls, this team exceeded expectations. Much like the boys, they're a very young team, and expectations were not high coming into the season, but the team dominated all year. But there are still some things they need to work on, mainly rebounding and three-point shooting, which were both key factors in their final loss.
Yeah, Jason, I would have to agree with you. I have been out to see both of these teams play, and they are moving the ball and playing a strong defense. As you said, the boys have a young team with strong players who will only continue to improve their game. Now looking at the girls, they are losing a few more seniors than the boys, including senior point guard Kyra Butler, who has been a key player in moving the ball down the court and getting those threes for the Lady Eagles. But I believe the ladies will keep their momentum going next season, especially with Coach Tyrone Johnson leading them. I think both teams should be very happy with the way they finished out their seasons. All right, let's move over to our next topic. NAU hosted the Big Sky Indoor Track and Field Conference Championships last weekend and dominated the events. Which athletes stood out? Well,
like you said, Haley, the Jacks just dominated as the men's team won their 4th straight indoor championship. I got to go cover this event for NAZ, and a lot of these really great athletes stood out, but none more than Deante Kemper. He won another conference championship in the high jump with a 7'1" mark, and it was so easy for him to clear it, it looked like he wasn't even trying. He also came close to breaking the NAU high jump record, which he also holds, but cramped up after his first attempt at the record. I got to talk to him after. He was really bummed that the coaches wouldn't let him keep trying after he started cramping. He also earned 2nd All-Big Sky honors in the hurdles and will represent the Lumberjacks at the NCAA Indoor National Championship next weekend in Arkansas.
Yeah, Deante is really one to look out for, breaking the school record with a jump of 7 feet and 4.25 inches. There doesn't seem to be much this guy can't do. But I'm going to look to thrower Gus Margiotta. He finished 2nd in the shot put at the Big Sky Champion this past weekend, throwing 17.1 meters, finishing out his last indoor season with the Jacks. Margiotta has been one to watch since the start of his track career, earning himself an All-Big Sky honors and finishing 3rd in the Big Sky Championship back in 2012. Last season, he scored in 2 events at the Big Sky Outdoor Championships to help earn the men's team a Big Sky title. Okay, let's move on to our next topic for tonight. Track and field wasn't the only NAU team winning championships right now, as the swim and dive team won the Western Athletic Conference Championship for the 2nd year in a row. How big was this win?
Well, the Jacks didn't just win, they demolished the competition, winning by 127 points. They finished at or near the top of almost every event, and I think a lot of the credit has to go to head coach Andy Johns. He won Coach of the Year for the conference in back-to-back years now, and I still don't think he's been getting enough recognition for all the work that he has done. Well, it takes a great athlete to compete in swim and dive at this level. The difference between winning and losing is how good your technique is, and that all comes from good coaching.
Yeah, Jason, the girls did work last weekend. Johns has done a great job coaching them, especially with the young team they had this year. The ladies started off with a disqualification, and senior Caitlin Wright was out sick, but the Lady Jacks persevered and came out on top. All of the 20 scoring ladies added to the win by reaching the championship in at least one of their events. Congratulations to the Lady Jacks and Coach Johns on their huge wins last weekend. All right, let's move over to our last topic. Last, but certainly not least, the women's golf team picked up a big win at the Red Rock Invitational to close out February. How has this team looked this year?
Well, it certainly was a big win for the ladies as they just beat out Cal Poly by 5 strokes. The team was led by Kim Suentes, who finished the event with the 3rd best individual score, finishing just 1 under par. Freshman Sierra Besdig was also impressive, shooting a 2-round total of 149 and finishing at 5 over. This is the 2nd straight victory for them at the Red Rocks Invitational, and that certainly helps build some momentum for the team going forward at this point in the season.
Yeah, sophomore Kim Fuentes was named Big Sky Golfer of the Week, so she's definitely one to look out for there on the links. The Red Rocks Invitational was the first win of the season for the Jacks. The ladies get the week off this weekend and then head to the Rio Verde Invitational, where hopefully they can keep up their momentum and bring home another win. All right, welcome back. Now we have sports reporter David Amata, who sat down with track runner Vernon Jameson. Check it out.
Thank you very much, and we're here sitting here with Vernon Jameson of the NAU track and field team, who just came back and won 2 back-to-back Big Sky championships. Vernon, thank you very much for joining us here at the Overtime Studios.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Vernon, needless to say, a very impressive showing by you and the rest of the team out there in the Big Sky championships that we had this last weekend at the Sky Dome. And you come away with 2 back-to-back Big Sky championships. I mean, that has to be very, very big for you, especially as a senior going into your last season here with the track and field team.
It's really big because being a hurdle champion is amazing, but coming back, like being back-to-back, and winning my sophomore year as well, being back-to-back champion, it's just amazing, even in closing out here at home in my senior year, so it's amazing.
And you mentioned that you were hurdle champion. You're also not too bad from what I hear at the 60-meter. I mean, yeah. You've got a pretty good mark in that one as well. I mean, what goes through your mind as you're competing? I mean, there's certain athletes are just focused on the task at hand. Yeah. Certain athletes have odd thoughts where they just think about a funny memory from childhood. I mean, what do you think about when you're competing in track and field?
Track and field, I think about executing my race, pretty much, like everything in practice, like from the start to the finish, make sure I drive, make sure everything's in the right place that it needs to be.
And again, you work with the hurdles, you work with the 60 meters. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of competitions in track and field. People don't realize just how much is involved in that. People just think it's normally the race, but you also got, you got your throwers, you got, a lot of things in general. If there was any other competition that you could take a part of in track and field, which one would you want to do the most?
If I had to pick any other event, I think it would be the 800. I know it's hard, but I feel like it's like the right balance between speed and endurance. So like the 800, I feel would be like the perfect race, like in everything.
That's, to me, you say 800, and the first thing I think of is I'm already winded. I'm already winded. I mean, how do you stay in such great shape to do all these competitions?
Practice, what my coach or our coach put us through, gets us prepared for the race. That like in the race time, we're just ready to run and we're in shape, we're in top of our game. And
for the Big Sky Track and Field Championships, you didn't have to leave NAU, but there are a lot of times where you guys are going out and you're traveling and everything like that. There's got to be a couple of guys on that bus that are a little bit odd, to say the least. I mean, if you had any funny travel stories, what would be the #1 that comes out of your mind?
Sometimes on the bus we sing, we break out in song. Like sometimes we just play around or play games on the bus, and we just have a fun time all the time.
So you guys are singing? Yeah,
we sing. We have fun. Like we just joke around, sing songs, whatever song's popular at the time.
Do you sing in particular?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
I sing.
Any artists that are on the top of your list?
I don't know. I don't have anyone on the top of my head right now, but I pretty much sing anything if I'm like.
All right. Well, you let me know whenever you're ready to go to karaoke night in downtown. Yeah. I'll go ahead and I want to take a look to see exactly what
I'll definitely go with you too.
All right. Sounds good, Vernon. Thank you very much for joining us here at the Overtime Studios. Much appreciated.
Thank
Congratulations again on the championship. Back to you guys in the studio.
And thanks to David and Vernon for that interview. Kelsey, you've got our weekend sports schedule. How's it looking?
Yes, Haley, this weekend looks packed, and I'll tell you more after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the OT. I'm Kelsey Metoxen. This weekend is jam-packed with spring sports. Flagstaff High School track and field will compete at the Rattler Invitation at North Canyon High School this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. The Flagstaff basketball team started earlier today against the Peoria Panthers at Peoria High School. Results can be found at www.jackcentral.org. Coconino also just started not too long ago against the Alhambra Lions, as first pitch was at 6 today in Alhambra. Northland Prep Baseball will play Phoenix Christian Cougars at Phoenix Christian High School on Saturday at 12 p.m. This will be their third game of the season. NEU men's basketball will play their last home game of the season before playoffs in the Skydome at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Well, that's all we have this week, so make sure to come and support all your local sports.
Thanks, Kelsey, for that. So, Jason, you gonna go check out anything?
Well, I'm actually heading down to Scottsdale this weekend to check out some of the Diamondbacks spring training stuff. We're going to go down there, cover that for a couple days. It's going to be a great time.
That's gonna be interesting.
What about you?
Well, I'm gonna be out of town for the weekend, but thank you for joining us here at the Overtime. Thanks, Jason and Kelsey, for joining me, and stay tuned. Tune in next week at 6:15 for another edition of the Overtime.